17-10 type ball game.
But then, but Pittsburgh and Jacksonville, the total in that game was 87, right? 87.
It got a little
And
out of control.
you would think the Patriots have a better offense, or at least a similar offense to Pittsburgh, right? And I'm not sure the Patriots defense is any better than Pittsburgh. So I mean, believe me, you could spin the narrative either way, and whatever happens on Sunday isn't going to surprise me. You know, if it's 35-28, it's not going to surprise me. If it's 21-17, it's not going to surprise me.
Who are you taking in this game, though?
Oh man. So what spread? 9.5 or 7?
7.
Jacksonville.
Really?
Yeah, let's go for it.
All right, I'll take a lunch on that.
Well, I owe you lunch for a Baylor bet.
I understand that. Yeah, don't think I wasn't going to bring that up. Next in news, Jeff lost his bet on Baylor. All right, I'll take New England minus.
last week, and the Eagles actually have a much better pass rush. They're going to be at home, so they're not going to get the snap count advantage. So the long story short is I think it really is going to be, I think this is going to be the Jacksonville-Pittsburgh or the Jacksonville-New England game that you think. I think it's going to be real, like a slog, like a 14-10 type thing. Maybe not that low, but I think it's going to go under.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think Philadelphia's going to win, man. I know that Foles is garbage, but I think it's going to come down to can the Philly pass rushers get after Keenum?
Yeah, that'll be key. Thielen, he's been out of practice this week. He's got lower back
back
issues.
Yesterday, I think.
Limited,
yeah,
very limited.
But they
got
the time
a safety
of the year,
out. Yeah.
If you're not in the cast, you're playing.
I think Minnesota across the board is much better than Philly, but I think Philly will execute and get the job done. They're at home. They're going to be awfully tough to beat with that crowd behind them.
Do you look at like what Minnesota did all season, or do you look at that game last week where they were? I mean, New Orleans is a really good team, but frankly, Minnesota was unbelievably lucky to win. And then what does that do to you? What does that do to you? Do you feel like now you're playing with house money, or do you feel kind of like, man, we got lucky there?
I think they may have exerted a lot of energy.
That's kind of what
week,
I think too, but
kind of thinking, how'd that one get away from us? What's Philly going to throw? And Philly at home is just a beast.
They are, yeah.
Just a beast. I got Philly in that one. I think they win.
You're right.
And I agree. I think it'll be a 17-10 type ball game. I think it'll be another low scoring. I got Philly and New England going to the Super Bowl. That we'll see how that pans out.
Yeah, what a shame, right? I mean, we kind of missed out on all the good games we could have had, right? Kansas City could have gone to. Kansas City could have gone to New England last week, and then Pittsburgh could be going to New England this week, and then we could be watching Carson Wentz versus Brady in the Super Bowl, and now
we're looking at Minnesota and Philly, Jacksonville, New England. So here we are, 2018.
But it turns out when you play in the NFL, there's injuries, right? It's hard to believe in a sport so physical after you just said that 14-year-old kids are getting concussions, right? So
yeah. Speaking of injuries, I saw something on SportsCenter last night. Chicago Bulls guy, I forget the guy's name. This is
Chris Dunn with the
Chris
chip tooth?
Dunn, yeah.
Yeah, man, that was a bad fall. Jeez.
2 teeth and a concussion. Oof. He actually broke a piece of the hardwood that he landed on face first. That was brutal. If you want to see it, you can Google it.
I couldn't figure out what he was trying to do, because a lot of times they get undercut or they're trying to avoid somebody, but that's just one you got to you just got to hang on the rim. I mean, as you know, Doug,
from experience, obviously.
Exactly, right.
That 15-foot ladder probably couldn't get you to a 10-foot rim, but anyways, I don't know what happened there. It looked like his feet were starting to swing under him, and looked like he was going to try to swing back, and he just lost his grip.
Yeah, no, that's probably what happened.
And no good
nasty.
there.
Nasty.
So he's out with a concussion, needless to say. Hey, we got Jeff Bach, attorney at law, on. We were talking a little bit about some criminal law. If you got a minor speeding ticket, things of that nature, how Jeff and his firm can help you out downtown. We have our picks in for the week. We got another lunch bet. I have New England. What was that? -7 in the Jags. Actually, you're going to text me later because that's how you roll.
It's going to be up to 14 by this afternoon.
Covered a little bit of the Cubs, and then our NFL preview for this weekend. Hey, I saw you had a Bradley game last weekend.
Yeah, that's right.
So it looks like you have season tickets down there. What's your take on the Bradley Braves this season?
Those were actually my dad's fiance's tickets.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah, and so my dad has tickets too, but those are her tickets. I don't watch enough. I've been to 2 Bradley games this year, and they look like they're on the upswing. But man, you can't. To me, you can't really say you're on the upswing until you can win on the road, and they just don't look like a team that can really win on the road consistently.
I agree. Would you agree that there were more people in the stands at this Bradley game that I saw you at last week versus maybe past years? I thought there seemed to be more bodies in the seats.
I would agree.
And it looked like there's a better product on the court to watch.
And it did actually feel like there's a home court advantage at times. People were getting up, cheering, making some noise. I mean, my dad's had tickets for like 30 years since the Civic Center opened in '84. So I've been going, until I was 18. I went to most of the games, and man, during those mile-an-hour years, it was so fun because it was packed and it was loud, and it was a real home court advantage. And so it'd be great if we could get a team that played well enough to get people to want to come see him and make some noise, because it really makes a huge difference.
Well, I mean, it's such a great atmosphere down there. You got live Division I college basketball. Get out of the house, go down, check them out. You can get good seats for very inexpensive night out with the family. I made nachos with cheese for Brady that night for dinner.
And you got to give him some coaching tips too, right?
All the way. All the way. I didn't take a minute off during that game. He hates every single minute of that. Jeff Bach, attorney at law downtown here. Hey, let's talk a little bit more about criminal law. So if we're talking, as a business owner let's talk business owners. I know a friend of ours installed some cameras at a bar/diner to help prevent theft. Is that something in your neck of the woods that you'd be able to handle if, a business owner felt like they may have an employee or persons to check out? Or
that's really, at that point, you have to decide if you want to make a criminal complaint about it or not. It's up to the business owner to decide if they want to call the police. And I can't really give them advice other than, do you want to? I mean, other than what the consequences would be. But that's an excellent segue into, obviously I do handle traffic tickets, but I do handle other stuff. And mostly, people hear, misdemeanor and they think, what a dirtbag or whatever. But the truth is, a lot of times that's just stupid kids doing stuff when they're drinking. I mean, you see like a lot of dumb trespassing tickets because they won't leave a bar. They, they're walking home, they go to the wrong house or whatever. And then you see, then you do see, again, younger people with retail theft things, where they're going to a store and shoplifting. I mean, the big thing with misdemeanors is if it's your first time, for the most part, unless it's really, really bad, the first misdemeanor or first kind of criminal interaction is meant to scare you into not doing it again.
Okay.
And a lot of times what I like to do, if it's somebody younger, I like to take them into misdemeanor court and let them sit in there for a little bit. Let them sit in there for an hour and see the kind of people that are in misdemeanor court and say, is this who you are? Right. Is this the kind of person you want to be? Because if you keep doing it, that's, you're going to end up here and you're going to end up in jail, So, obviously, at the end of the day, we want to get them a disposition where it's not going to affect their future.
Right.
But if you go in and say, hey, it's going to be fine, don't worry about it, then I kind of wonder, is the lesson kind of lost? So I like to have them sit in there for a while, watch how things are done, see the kind of people that are in there. And then at the end, occasionally, every once in a while, when they ask me what the offer was, I'll say, well, they only want you to do a year in jail. And then after they're done crying, then I kind of bring them back to them. But I only do that, in the rare cases where it doesn't seem like it's getting through.
I think I've been into court. I had a traffic ticket several years ago. But it is an eye-opener when I think anyone out there that's listening that has walked into a courtroom, there's a certain unknown that causes fear as well as who's in there as well. And, I don't want to associate myself or anyone, to be caught up in any of that.
The good news is this time of year, you really don't have to deal with the smoke smell. In the winter, in the summer when it's warm out, boy, you
get a variety.
Oh man, it is something. It is something.
So I know you're busy. You got your firm that you're taking care of. You're taking care of your health. What are you doing for fun over the season? Do you have any trips planned? Are you getting out of the state anytime soon?
That's a good question. Yeah, I think my wife and I are going to go visit her friend in Nashville pretty soon. Never been to Nashville. Kind of excited about it. Sounds like fun.
You're going to fit in really well. I know you have a huge cowboy hat, some sort of obnoxious sheriff
Definitely
belt,
the belt buckle.
and some boots.
So many belt buckles.
I can only imagine. Nashville's a good town. How long are you guys going down, and when are you looking at going?
Well, I think maybe long weekend, like maybe Friday to Monday, maybe sometime in February.
As it warm. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, just get out of this weather,
Yeah,
break it
yeah.
up.
I mean,
I see a lot of people walking around with the winter blues right now.
Yeah,
The
that's
winter's
true.
been a little difficult. Cold weather. We got a bunch of snow every time. It seems to start clearing up. We get a little more snow. So, yeah, hopefully that'll give you a little something to look forward to
be
coming
nice.
down the road.
Yeah.
We got Jeff Bach, Bach attorney at law, in studio. We were covering a little bit about traffic tickets and misdemeanor tickets. We made our picks for the NFL playoff games this upcoming week. In regards to the NBA, let's cover that. We got about 2 minutes. We got Boston sitting atop the East, 34-12, then Toronto and Cleveland sitting at 27-17, 3-7 in their last 10 games. I hate LeBron, so whenever I get the opportunity to bash on him a little bit, seems like he's getting a little whiny. It's almost All-Star break. I think he might need a break from the team. He's going to Miami soon, within about a week. I think that might bring some new controversy to the table in a week or so. What's your thoughts on where Cleveland sits, third in the Eastern Division? You think they got enough in the tank to catch Boston?
Man, it's like, it's a bad sign when, anonymously people are saying the team just doesn't have it, like their own teammates are saying they don't have enough to get it done. And, I understand why they traded Irving. I mean, if some guy doesn't want to be there, you don't want him there. But, man, the defensive downgrade from Irving to Isaiah Thomas is just, I don't think they can do it.
Yeah, it's obvious. It's notably obvious on the floor. Now, Thomas hit 2 free throws in a row for the Cavs to cinch a win. But they were up on the Magic about 21 points, and the Magic came back in that second half. I've seen Cleveland blow several second-half leads, and they have the second hardest schedule in the second portion of the season and the latter half of the season. So we'll see how Cleveland ends up. Golden State's, just easing through 37-9 on the season. Houston, 31-12. The Bearded Beast was back in the rotation last night. Limited play. The coach pulled him out, and Harden was giving him some stares at the end. Yeah, he goes, I didn't even want to sit by coach. I went all the way to the end. I just stared at him. It was kind of comical to watch those highlights. But Houston, then San Antonio, Minnesota's sitting there at fourth, and Oklahoma coming back. They're 25-20. Golden State, boy, if you're watching Curry and the boys, they're just, I think they have it.
It should be. I mean, it should be a fun playoffs. The last time it was really fun was that, I think 2 years ago, when Oklahoma City actually won Game 5 in Oakland, Golden State, and then they had that chance on their own home floor to clinch it. Man, that fourth quarter was crazy. So I'm hoping that there's some good playoff action, because I don't know if the finals are going to get it done. I'm hoping the Western Conference Finals, either like a Houston and Golden State series, or maybe in the semifinals, Oklahoma City Golden State series, just to actually have some really good basketball.
Well, next time we're on, All-Star break will have happened. We'll be into the second half of the season. So we'll cover that and much more on where Jeff took me for lunch with New England.
2 lunches.
Yeah, 2 lunches. Wonderful. Jeff Bach, Bach attorney at law. My name's Doug Pinter on Daily Energy. Have a great week, everybody.
Thanks, Doug.
PeoriaLife.com